Hello everybody out there in the music community. This is Michael Soldier 777 coming at you here. Hope everyone had a great New Year's. My last video was shot before New Year's, but I've uploaded I think around New Year's on January 1st or 2nd. Um, and that was one showing the albums I have from 96, 97. This one continuing up the same theme with the albums I have in 1998. Let's get right to it. So first up we have Petra with God Fixation. And this was released in early mid 1998, as I recall, if I recall correctly. This is not the best album. As I said before, to me the best time of Petra was from 77 till about early mid 90s. After that point, Petra kind of waned a bit in terms of the actual band releases. But it does have some moments, such as Matter of Time, St. Augustine Pairs, and Magnum of the World is pretty cool too, and The Invitation. If I were to pick one, the best song would be St. Augustine Pairs, and to me, St. Augustine Pairs is more closer to the mid to late 80s period of Petra, around 86, 87. Got that classic hard rock sound in that song. There you have it, Petra, God Fixation. There you have it. Next up is a band I feel similar to the Petra, God Fixation, has its moments, not the best album kind of thing, is Jerusalem Rad. This also came out in 98. The best song is this song, Close. There's a lot of slow rockers in this album, not as many upbeat tempo songs as Jerusalem is known for. The best song, this one's Close. Back about in the 90s or so, when in between albums, Ulf Christensen and the band recorded some songs back in the early mid 80s. They didn't think they were any good to put on any Jerusalem albums. And the fan or a friend of a band, I can't remember, I think it's a friend of the band, encouraged them to release those songs on some albums. And that's what they did. So they put out Those Were Days, which was some of those songs, and then they put this album Rad, which was, I think, probably has the rest of those songs on two different albums. And that's what they did. Those two albums had songs that he recorded back in the early 80s. They think really good to release any albums. There you have it, Jerusalem Rad. Next up we have Michael Sweet with Truth. So this is known as a Truth demo. So when Michael Sweet was sort of, I think back around late 90s, Michael Sweet sort of put music on the back burner and was focused on his family. And I believe when someone developed a website for him, he saw he had all this interest in his music. I think that's when he decided to put out some more music. I think, if I'm not mistaken. As you may know, before this, he put out 2 or 3 solo albums. A self-titled one, 94 and 95, Real, and recorded a 5-song demo EP called On Stripe, was released in 99. Well, this one is Truth, came out in 98, and it's more of a mix between alternative rock, hard rock, and straight up classic rock, sort of kind of mixture of both styles. There you have it, Michael Sweet, Truth. There you have it. Next up, another Striper-related band is Sin Dizzy. And as you know, Sin Dizzy has Tim Gaines on bass and Oz Sox on guitars, both from Striper. And this album contains 2 different demos, I believe. So from track 1 to about track 6 was one demo. That's the second set of demo songs, and the last 4 songs was the first set of demos they recorded. So the last 4 songs was demos recorded around 91, 92 period. After they left Striper, Oz Fox started putting out songs that would have been on the next Striper album, which was the last 4 songs, and the first 6 songs was the demos recorded in the mid late 90s. and he started to compile everything together and put this one album called Sin Dizzy, He's Not Dead. There you have it. So Sin Dizzy, He's Not Dead. There you have it. So next up, we have another strip-related album, and this is called Guardian. Young Black Attack is back. So the guys in Guardian decided to put out a instead of doing one song, so I do a whole album of the Striper album, Young Black Attack. There you have it. Young Black Attack's back by Guardian. Great version they did of the original Striper Young Black album with the original 6 songs, which is loud and clear from wrong to right. You know what to do. Come on, rock. You won't be lonely and loving you. There you have it. Next up, we have a adult contemporary album from the artist Ken Tamplin called Where Love Is. This came out in '98, and this was put out on CBM Gemma Records, which is European distribution, album distribution. There you have it. Where Love Is, Ken Tamplin, and it's got 17 songs, a long album. There you have it. Next up, we have a couple albums from the band Pelletieri. Here we have Live Fast Loud. It was a live album in support of their album Screaming Symphony. Yeah, and features songs from other albums prior to that. There you have it. And here's a track list there. There you have it. And this was also on, I should have showed the album sold. The latest album from Pelletieri, which is called War Machine. There's a 2-disc set, which is a Japanese version. And that's what the second disc is actually this whole album. The second disc is. But I already have this album anyway, so it was near here or there to have that second disc. Because I got the single disc version, domestic version, the US version. But the Japanese import has this as a second disc on War Machine. Their last album came out in 2024. There you have it. Next up is probably my favorite album from that year, which is in Pelletieri, Ida Hurricane. There you have it. I got a UK import, and it has the second disc EP called, which is Warrior, Fly Away, Glory, Hold the Line, and Victim System. And these songs appear in other albums. A couple of these songs appear in other albums as well. So, in Pelletieri, Ida Hurricane, which came out in '98. It's a UK version, and it has both discs. There you have it. The EP version and the regular album version. There you have it. Pretty cool. That is my collection. Yeah, pretty cool. Next up, we have a band I recently got into the past few years called Narnia. Their debut album, which is called the subtitle, no, Awakening. It's called Awakening. Sorry. Yeah, it's a really good album. So, Narnia, the Awakening. Sorry. I think the best song of this is called No More Shadows from the Past. Great tune. There you have it. Anyway, folks, that's my albums I have from the year 1988. Hope you enjoy that. And all the best. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend. Bye now.